Hello everybody, my name is Nick and welcome to LODE TV. As always, if this is your first time joining us, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel, as well as check out LODE.1 to learn more about the project. Now, tonight's guest believes Bitcoin has changed quite a bit since its initial introduction and has since become regulated. But with this said, that it is still a currency completely outside of the control of central banks and governments. What he calls a libertarian dream. Tonight we have none other than Jeff Berwick, host and founder of the Dollar Vigilante. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Now, Jeff, you have said of Bitcoin that it is super limited in supply, super fast, and super inexpensive for users. And now we're seeing a rebound after it hit its January lows. Now, what do you believe is behind this drive?
When it hit 20,000 in December of 2017, we actually put out a video and said it's time to take profits in Bitcoin the day before it hit 20,000. And very soon after, in the Dollar Vigilante newsletter, we just looked at the charts, and our senior analyst, Ed Bugos, said, it looks like we're going to head into a bear market here. And he said that his best prediction for where Bitcoin was going to go was $3,500, which it basically hit about a year later in December. And then when it hit that level, we actually put out a buy on it and said that we were probably going to be heading back up quite dramatically here. And it has. And now it's hit around 8,000 and things like that. So, I think it's fairly normal. I think this is just a normal what you have in volatility. You've got a nascent currency here in Bitcoin that is very small still in size. It's worth about $100 billion total. If you look at just, the value of Apple is about $1 trillion, I believe. So it's like not even 1/10 of one company in the world. And this is a currency that the G20, the IMF, that Congress and the US all are scared of as potentially taking over from the US dollar. If it were to actually replace the US dollar, the value of Bitcoin would probably be closer. It'd be in the millions of dollars. I did the calculations a few years ago. So we're very small at this point, and a lot of people will point out Bitcoin's quite volatile, and that's because it is quite small. It only started less than 10 years ago in 2009, and really no one even knew about it. I found out in 2011. We recommended at $3 at the Dollar Vigilante in 2011, but I think people didn't even really hear about it till 2013 with the Cyprus Bank bail-in and things like that. And still to this day, your average person still really has no clue what Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies really are. So it's still very small. And I think this pullback and then this bounce were totally to be expected.
Now, both you and I are no stranger to the fact that Bitcoin has many problems, but you seem to be a proponent that Bitcoin's problems are somewhat temporary. Why are you so confident with this?
Well, I have to say I've been actually one of the more outspoken people actually critiquing a lot of what's been going on in Bitcoin over the last few years. I was very against them not raising the block size from 1 megabyte back in, what was that, August 2017, I believe. That's when Bitcoin Cash decided to fork away from it and said that's crazy to keep the block size at 1 megabyte, and they've gone on from then. So I've been a fan of Bitcoin Cash since then. By keeping the block size at 1 megabyte, it essentially makes the price, the cost to transfer go up quite dramatically, and actually slows it down quite dramatically. Now, a lot of the top Bitcoin coder people have been saying, well, there's going to be a Lightning Network. It's already launched, but that'll fix everything. And so far, it hasn't fixed everything. And I don't know if it's ever going to fix everything. And the real key to Bitcoin becoming a worldwide currency is that it is incredibly cheap to use. It has to be around a penny or two per transaction, not 50 cents or $1 or $5 or $10. I've paid up to $100 to transfer Bitcoin in the past. It'll never become a true currency used by everyone if that is the case. And so if that is the case, then it looks like Bitcoin might stay as what they call it quite often, sort of a digital gold, a store of value that, it's so big, and it's sort of like it's the first one and everyone's kind of got it and that sort of thing, that it might just be a store of value. But for something to actually be used as a currency in day-to-day transactions, it might end up being something like Bitcoin Cash or Monero or other ones. So I am bullish on Bitcoin, definitely. I think with all the institutional money starting to come into it, with things like the New York Stock Exchange owners, ICE, launching the new backed exchange, which will be launching in the next couple months, that will allow trillions of dollars of institutional money for the first time ever to really get into Bitcoin. So So that alone will launch the price of Bitcoin dramatically. And then you just see all the other companies, Microsoft's getting involved, Starbucks, Whole Foods is accepting it, Nordstrom's is accepting it. We're seeing Fidelity allowing its clients to trade it now. So it's going to do well. But as far as which one wins in the end and becomes an actual day-to-day money, that's totally up for grabs still. And there's a number of competitors that could take that spot.
Now, what do you make of people like John McAfee trying to out who Satoshi is? Is this purely a marketing play?
Well, my opinion on Satoshi, and I wrote the foreword to the book of Satoshi, which actually is an excellent book. If you don't know about it, you want to learn about Bitcoin, check it out. It actually shows the writings of Satoshi going back well before 2009, well before the launch of Bitcoin and things like that. My take on who is Satoshi is it doesn't really matter. And that's the whole point, and that's the beauty of Bitcoin. It is open source software. It is not controlled by anyone. Now, of course, whoever Satoshi is does have about 1 million Bitcoins, so he's very rich if he's still alive and if he still has access to those Bitcoins. But other than that, it doesn't really matter all that much. And now, of course, people like Craig Wright have said that he's Satoshi, and it doesn't really matter. In fact, someone asked me, if Craig Wright really was Satoshi, what would you think? And my response was, I'd just be disappointed, because I thought Satoshi would be a lot smarter, a lot cooler, a lot more free market, that sort of thing. But as far as does it matter who Satoshi is? Not really, as far as I'm concerned. Now, of course, if the CIA came out and said they're Satoshi, I'd be like, okay, well, that's not cool, but still, it is open source software, and they don't control it anymore, so we can still use it. But that would be very disappointing. I don't think it was the CIA, but it really, to me, it's a sort of a moot point. It's more of a, I think it's just more of a interest story to everyone than anything. When you look back at Dorian Nakamoto, they said he was Satoshi. Newsweek, one of the biggest joke media companies in the world, came out and said, oh, he's Satoshi. The whole world's media flooded there. Everyone's very interested because, of course, this guy's one of the richest guys in the world if he's still alive and if he has access to those coins. He started up a revolution in money and banking. So there's a lot of interest in who it is. But really, that's all it is. It's just sort of like an interesting sort of soap opera side story in the end. It really has no effect. Like, even if it came out and said it was Adolf Hitler was Satoshi, I'd be like, okay, well, I still am going to own Bitcoin. That's really weird. I thought he was dead, but who knows? They might have flew to Argentina. They flew a lot of Nazis there. Maybe it is Adolf Hitler, but I'm still going to own Bitcoin no matter who started it.
That's all we have for today's episode. Thoroughly hope that you guys are enjoying the interview with the Dollar Vigilante founder, Jeff Berwick. As always, if this is your first time joining us, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as well as check out LODE.1 to learn more about the project. And if you happen to be in the Hartford, Connecticut area for June 7th, we'd love to see you join us at the Red Pill Expo. And you can learn more about the Red Pill at www.redpillexpo.org. That's all we have for today, guys, and take care.